If you're looking to buy a stacked NBA 2K account with max badges and more, visit sportstmb.com. He has been in the community for years and has hundreds of reviews. Click the first link in the description to get your account today.
Before this video starts, if you enjoy this video, there are many more like it already on the channel, with many more like it to come in the future, so subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so I would really appreciate it. I upload almost daily on this channel, so if you're looking for some consistent sports talk during the quarantine, this is the place for it. Also, drop a like real quick, it makes a massive difference, it only takes a second, and I really appreciate it. Today's video is on a topic that I have contemplated covering for a while now. Really, it's a topic that I've contemplated with many other analysts of the past, but with Kendrick Perkins, I've really reached my boiling point. Kendrick Perkins has been one of NBA Twitter's favorite targets over the past few months as he has attempted to transition into being an analyst from being a bad basketball player. I have had a pretty well vocalized gripe with traditional NBA media and analysts, and Kendrick Perkins is pretty much the perfect representation of the problem that I have with them. My biggest issue is that traditional media heavily incentivizes being an attention whore, which Kendrick Perkins absolutely is. So let's talk about the many dumb takes that Kendrick Perkins has put out there to get attention, and I guess in the process, give him some attention. Now, I would like to say at the start here that none of this is a big deal. Does some of this stuff annoy me? Of course, but it's not life or death or anything close to that. Kendrick Perkins is not a bad person, but I wanted to talk about some of his annoying habits and look at some of his very stupid takes. I'm very aware that this thumbnail is a bit, aggressive to say the least, but I don't hate the guy. I don't hate anybody who hasn't done something morally wrong. I don't hate John Stockton or Russell Westbrook. I just criticize those guys, and today I'm going to be critical of Kendrick Perkins as an analyst. So with that out of the way, let's look at some of Perk's dumb takes. Now, there are a lot of stupid takes to look at with Kendrick Perkins' brief time as an analyst, but one of his most recent ones is one of his stupidest. That take was his top 5 NBA teams of all time. Here is his top 5. Go ahead. Look at it and think about all the great teams throughout history and really consider just how stupid this list is. First of all, why does he have the 96-97 Bulls as the greatest team of all time? Does he think that's the team that won 72 games? Because that would be the 95-96 Bulls. Normally, for a casual NBA fan, I would let that slide. However, this is a former NBA player and current analyst with a paid position. I'll give it a pass, I guess, but that's pretty fucking sloppy. Then at 2, the 01 Lakers are certainly up there. I cannot hate on that. I don't agree, of course, but it's not something that I would call crazy. However, at number 3, we have the fucking 2004 Pistons. Now, don't get me wrong, everything that the Pistons accomplished in 2004 was very impressive. The fact that they won a championship without a superstar caliber player was nuts. However, they are not even close to a top 3 team of all time. That's just fucking absurd. Then at 4, when I tell you that everyone on that 08 Celtics team has a massively inflated ego, this is what I'm talking about. For those who may not be aware, Kendrick Perkins was the starting center of the 08 Celtics, who apparently, at least according to them, won the most difficult championship of all time and are somehow a dynasty with a single ring. I have made my feelings known about this 08 Celtics team, why I think they're overrated, why their players annoy the shit out of me, but what really annoys me about this take the most is that the 08 Celtics are not only not a top 5 team of all time, they're not even the best Celtics team of all time. The 1986 Boston Celtics are the greatest Celtics team of all time. They won 67 games and they lost just 3 games in the playoffs. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, 6th Man of the Year, Bill Walton. This team is easily better than the 2008 Celtics. And then lastly, the 2013 Miami Heat certainly deserve to be in this conversation, so I'm not mad about that one. However, one thing that I would like to point out here is in his top 5, 4 of them are 2000s and 2010s teams, and only 1 of them is a 90s team. Does Perk not know that there are over 30 years of NBA history pre the 90s? The 86 Celtics absolutely should be in here. The 93 Bulls should be in this conversation. The Showtime Lakers should be in here. The early 70s Lakers should be in this conversation. One of the many Bill Russell Celtics teams should be in this conversation. I guess Perkins doesn't respect the earlier eras of the NBA, but whatever. But now let's talk about my biggest issue with Perkins that I commonly see with people in his position. He flip-flops like crazy. Most recently, Perkins was in NBA Twitter's crosshairs because he said that James Harden was better than Stephen Curry. 1, he isn't, but 2, his reasoning was that because James Harden put the Rockets on the map and Steph Curry didn't. Which is true. Steph Curry did not make the Houston Rockets relevant. As a matter of fact, he's done some pretty good work the past few years to make sure that they become irrelevant. However, Curry absolutely made the Golden State Warriors relevant. When you think of the Warriors through an NBA historical lens, you think of Steph. Previous to the success of the Warriors in the mid-2010s that came from Steph, this team really wasn't very relevant in the grand scheme of NBA discussion. Whereas with Harden and the Rockets, I don't know about y'all, but when I think of the Houston Rockets through the lens of NBA history, I think of Hakeem Olajuwon, not James Harden. Hakeem being a guy that actually won his franchise, a championship. Also, whether or not a player made a franchise relevant is really not relevant to how good that player is in comparison to another. Vince Carter made the Toronto Raptors relevant. He's not better all time than Kobe Bryant. However, the problem here is not this dumbass take. Sure, it's a problem, but it's not my biggest issue. The problem is, not too long before this, Kendrick Perkins tweeted out his top 5 hybrids list. He specifically called these players hybrids because he believed they transcended their position and didn't really fit into the position they've been assigned to, which may I just say, I think that's stupid. Like, whatever position a player plays, that's the position they are, alright? That's the end of it. Should Anthony Davis be a center? Yes. Does he play center? No. So he's a power forward. Is Steph a pass-first true point guard? No. But he plays point guard, so he's a fucking point guard. Just stop with this hybrid shit. Especially because once you get to a certain point, you can really call most players that are all-time greats hybrids. And because of that, you can really lack consistency and seem like you really don't know what you're talking about. Perkins has LeBron as his number 1 small forward of all time, even though I think we'd all agree that LeBron is a hybrid. He's definitely not your prototypical small forward. But then he acknowledged LeBron was a hybrid by putting him at point guard in his all-time starting 5. And also, he had Scottie Pippen and Larry Bird over Kevin Durant all time, which is a whole nother thing. Bird should be over KD, but Pippen absolutely shouldn't. But then he puts Kevin Durant at small forward for his all-time starting 5, which doesn't make much sense, Perk. But anyways, I got heavily sidetracked there because Perkins says a lot of dumb shit. But the point I'm trying to get to is look at Kendrick Perkins' top 5 hybrids list. Take a look at that. Number 1, Steph Curry. And if we go down a bit, oh, look at that. Number 4, James motherfucking Harden. This was tweeted April 30th. Which means not even a month later, the guy changed his mind. Now let's look at another example. Kendrick Perkins has LeBron James as his GOAT, which is an opinion I respect. I don't think you're insane for having that opinion. However, what I don't respect is the fact that he tweeted that Jordan was the GOAT a year ago. Now, if this was a tweet from 2015, then sure, I'd get it. I didn't consider LeBron in that conversation until the conclusion of the 2016 finals. However, from June of 2019 to now, LeBron has not done anything to change that opinion. And one thing here real quick, you are allowed to change your opinion. I have no issue with that, but you have to have a reason for it. You can't just flip-flop on a dime. Because when you do that, you really lose your credibility because it looks like you're just saying controversial shit for the sake of controversy. Which brings us to my biggest gripe with Kendrick Perkins and my biggest gripe with traditional NBA media. Saying controversial shit for the sake of controversy. Now I do want to quickly acknowledge that I have been accused of this myself in the past. However, believe me or not, but I am being 100% honest when I tell you that anything that I have said on this channel, I either still believe or did believe at the time that I posted that video. I genuinely believe that John Stockton is the most overrated player of all time. I genuinely believed that there should be a rule in the NBA where you can only sign a certain amount of All-Stars. I no longer believe that, but at the time of posting that video, I most certainly did. Now, if you don't believe I'm being honest, then fair enough. There's nothing I can do to change that. I myself do not believe that Perkins believes half of the shit that he says, nor do I believe that Max Kellerman or Stephen A. Smith or Shannon Sharp or Rachel Nichols or any of these people believe half the shit they say. Hot takes equal attention. Attention equals viewership. Viewership equals higher revenue, which equals a fatter wallet for whoever brought up that viewership. Every time Perkins has said some stupid shit over the past few months, he has been trending on Twitter. And every time he's trended on Twitter, I guarantee you if you looked over at Perkins' wallet, you would see it come to life and start dancing. I won't knock the hustle. I'm very pro making money any way you can that is not hurting other people in any way. However, if you're annoyed by it, like I am, then my suggestion would be to stop giving it attention, because when you do that, you're encouraging the behavior. Now, I don't know if I'm actually going to stop doing that because it actually benefits me to respond to it like it will with this video, but I guess that's just the circle jerk that I'm in. But if you would like to stop encouraging this as a viewer, I would suggest you start watching NBA YouTube. And no, this isn't some big self-promo. You do not have to subscribe to me. I'd appreciate it, but regardless, there are so many creators on this platform around the NBA whose opinions I respect so much more than any analyst on ESPN or First Take or whatever the fuck. Legend of Winning, B-Souls, Dom2K, King of the Fourth Quarter, my guy Mojo99, MDJ. Wait, fuck, he quit, I'm just sad now. There's guys like the NBA Storyteller who make completely original content around the NBA. And then there's also the guys who haven't followed me back on Twitter, so they're not going to get a shout out. Except for Ben Taylor at Thinking Basketball. He's too smart to follow me on Twitter anyways. And none of these guys, in my opinion, say disingenuous things because they know it will boost their viewership and fill their pockets. So go subscribe to everyone that I just mentioned because they do not say bullshit for the sake of viewership. They genuinely believe what they say. Also, if you want, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to me. But you don't have to do that. If you don't want, you son of a bitch. But that's the end of this video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.